Hi everyone, it's Simon Keeling here at weatherweb.net and it's Monday the 2nd of December. Thanks again for watching. Just a reminder that as always the site's kept free of charge by you coming back and using the site and using the adverts that you see around the screen here. That's what keeps us free of charge. So thanks for doing that and thank you for telling your friends about us as well. Fascinating to see how many of you now accessing the site via your mobiles and your tablets as well. Amazing to see how that's changed over the course of the past year. Anyway, on with the forecast. This is the temperature prediction for London for the next 15 days. And you see here how the ensemble tries to dip off temperatures here late on during the course of this week and then picks them back up again as we head into the early part of next week. In fact, becoming quite mild during the early part of next week. So it looks like the cold snap that we're going to see this weekend is going to be short-lived. Could be quite a vicious one though, and wouldn't rule out the risk of some snow almost anywhere, but particularly over high ground. And when I say snow, I'm talking about a dusting at low levels as well. But I think ice is going to be a big problem. More than that though, I think the wind's really gusty during the course of Thursday and Friday. We could see some severe gales around too. Now, those of you following us on Twitter at Weather School will know that we've been talking about the discrepancy in the models about what happens once we get the cold weather out the way at the end of this week. I know Gary's been telling you about that cold weather at the end of this week, so I want to focus on what happens after that. These are the charts, all valid for the same time. This is for the 12th of December, the ECMWF operational. What's interesting is you notice this builds high pressure over Scandinavia. It brings in an easterly flow across the country by then, and I think what that would tend to do is bring in ever more cooler air from the area of low pressure you can see there centred across central parts of Europe. Notice as well the ridge that just builds in off the Atlantic here with a deep area of low pressure off towards the west. Now, compare that to the ensemble. That actually has the high developed here across Central Europe. It has the low further south. And what it does is it brings the ridge here across the country, feeding in warmer south to southwesterly winds. So it's just not seeing things as cold. But it's this little fella out here, this trough, that we need to keep an eye on. Because the GFS ensemble also makes much more of this trough as well. It positions the high look over Central Europe. We've lost our low, it's kind of down here somewhere, and it brings us into this milder, breezier southwesterly flow too. And the Canadian, well, that really goes to town with the cold air here. Look, it brings a strong southwesterly jet stream, high pressure again over Central Europe. It shows the low a little bit further north there across southeastern parts of Europe, but the real feature of the GEM, the Canadian, is this southwesterly flow. So who's going to get it right? Well, that's the debate we've been having in the office today about who's going to get this one right. And I think what we need to do is just to try and build a story rather than look at each individual model run, because I think the models are really struggling with the idea that this air up here is so cold, but we do also have milder air down towards the south, and we've got the sharp contrast between the two. Of course, we've got sunshine hours now down at their lowest across the northern hemisphere, and particularly around our latitudes. You know, we're starting to see little sun during the course of the day. So what have we got? Sort of 7 hours of strong sunlight. So the sun's just not getting through. It's not heating things up. Temperatures are falling off rapidly to the north of us, and so the models always struggle with this sharp contrast between cold and warm air. But I actually think the CFS is telling a good story here. This is week 1 from the CFS. It has lower than normal heights up here over the northern parts of Scandinavia, higher than normal heights to the west of the UK, and it does try to show us this west to northwesterly flow, which of course includes the cold northerly flow during the course of the end of this week and into the beginning part of the weekend. Now, this is week 2 from the 9th to the 15th, and again showing us higher than normal heights down towards the southwest, lower than normal here across the east, and this strong jet stream here coming in from the Atlantic. But it's not a southwesterly, you notice. It says, look, it's going to be more of a westerly jet, and that would lift temperatures not to become mild, but probably to get nearer normal for the time of year, with dry weather tending to still be in control. And then on to week 3, and I think this is where the CFS becomes interesting. This is from the 16th through to the 22nd, and what it's trying to do, you'll notice, is it tries to weaken off the higher than normal heights down towards the south and the west. So it's indicating probably that more of a west to southwest jet can break through. We've got lower than normal heights here to the north and towards the east. So it's suggesting that during this period, around the middle to latter stages of the middle of the month, we do pick up more of a southwesterly flow. So things could go more unsettled, Could go windier, but with temperatures nearer normal. But then what it does is it says, well, look, by week 4, the high is re-establishing itself again. It's building in. We've got higher than normal heights here, low than normal here, low than normal here. And what it tries to do is suggest that actually we get back into more of a northeasterly flow. Now, with higher than normal heights here as well across northern parts of and eastern parts of Russia, what that suggests is that we can get a feed of relatively cool air coming in here from central Russia across and into that high. However, what it's not is dragging in real cold air here from the poles. So again, what we could look at is higher pressure being in towards these latter stages of December, well, the middle to latter stages of December, but it never getting desperately cold. Yes, frosty nights, cool days, perhaps 1 to 4 degrees as maximums. Yes, we could get some fog, low cloud, etc. But it doesn't scream really, really cold at this stage. Now, of course, that could all change, but at the moment, all the charts tending to back these thoughts up. And that kind of ties in with the MJO as well. This is the MJO from the ECMWF. And you notice here that it kind of meanders around for a time, these colours kind of saying, oh, well, it's sort of up here. And then what it does is it drags us into phase 3 and phase 4. Both of these phases bring in higher than normal pressure across and to the south of the UK, extending across into Scandinavia and west into the Atlantic, but they're never desperately cold phases. So the ECMWF takes us into this in the middle to latter stages of December as well. So certainly some backup for those ideas from both the CFS and from the ECMWF long ranges, that this is where this pattern kind of heads into a drier, cooler latter stages of December, but not desperately cold. And we may see this brief hit of milder weather coming through in the middle part of the month, which sort of backs up where most of the operational models were headed. Anyway, of course, we'll keep you updated on that throughout the next few days. But for now, thanks for watching weatherweb.net. And whatever you're doing today, keep the sun shining, and bye for now.